Hi everyone, my name is Rachel Kleinman. I'm here with Hero Arts today to share how you can use these sometimes forgotten tiny stamps in a stamp set to create a background stamp that's unique just to you. And I'll be using the Spring Bunny stamp set today. And you see that I'm starting with some light spring colors. I have peony cardstock, and I'm also using peony ink because I really do want to almost create my own pattern paper with these small images. So this Spring Bunny stamp set has this beautiful line of flowers that you see here, and I'm actually going to use this to create the pattern base for what I'm working on. I don't want to do the whole card. I'm just going to do, you see some bits and pieces because I don't want it to look too calculated. And I do like to start with the larger stamp first, and you'll see as we go on I work my way down to the smallest stamp. And the next stamp that I'll be using is this carrot stamp. As you start working your way through the small images, you'll see that they find ways to fit perfectly within one another. So this little carrot stamp fits really nicely within the grooves and the nooks and crannies of the flowered line stamp that you just did. And don't be afraid to rotate your stamp. You see I'm doing the carrot upside down or sideways or up and down. Either way is fine. And I'm moving on now to these two little butterflies. So I'm fitting in the butterflies where I see a gap. And the great thing about these smaller stamps is you see here, I just want to use that top small butterfly to fit into even smaller little nooks and crannies. And I'm able to do that just by stamping that particular butterfly. And I'll do that later as well. So I like how the bottom portion built upon itself. So I'm going to use that same long flower stem to stamp throughout the rest of the base of the card. You see that I'm wiping my stamps in between. That's a microfiber cloth. And I do spray the Ultra Clean Stamp Cleaner on it just to make sure that it's clean for the next use. And you also see that I'm using an acrylic block. I find that that makes it so much faster, and also then you can rotate it and make it upside down. Whereas if you were using something like a stamp press, you certainly could still create this effect, but it would take much longer to do so. So now I'm moving on to a different stamp. This stamp just has two flowers and a couple leaves onto it. And so I'm starting to fill in my gaps, and I'm just stamping or just inking those two flowers there to fill that in. So I'm going to do that throughout the card. Wipe off any ink with your finger just in case. And then you see, to really get all those final little gaps, I do just the one single little flower stamp throughout. And then I'll finish with just the single heart. There's a very tiny heart that you're going to see here soon. And that really helps create the page or your card panel to look full. And it is like your own pattern paper. You can certainly try this with any of your Hero Arts stamp sets. They often include a lot of smaller images. And it's true that these little images are often forgotten. So this is a great way to show some love to even the tiniest of stamp. There it is, the finished product. And I am going to cut this out from the Scalloped Rectangles Infinity die. You see I'm using the second largest die. And I just ran that through my large die cut machine. And now that the main panel is complete, we're going to start building the scene for those sweet other bunny stamps to live in. So you see that I am inking up some kiwi cardstock. The ink that I'm using is called Green Hills. And I'm going to layer some grass die cuts on the bottom so that the little bunnies can hide inside. So this grass die cut that I'm using comes from the butterfly foliage die set, and that die set also includes some beautiful butterflies and flowers, but for today I'm just using this grass image. And I ran that through my compact cutter. And I do want to layer the grass, so I'm going to do the same thing again, but I'm going to make my second grass layer just a little bit longer so that it stands from behind a little more full and a little taller. Because we all know that grass is not two-dimensional. Grass is very much a three-dimensional natural product. So I ran that through my compact cutter again, and now I'm going to work on layering them. I don't want them to put them right on top of each other. I want to create some movement. So for this first piece, I'm going to use the scallop die, and you see I've moved it all the way to the right of that piece. And then for the taller piece of grass, I'm going to move it all the way to the left. You see my finger there motioning that. And I, of course, use the scallop die so that it layers perfectly on top of, you see there, our stamped panel that we created. And by kind of shifting the way you die cut it, it just gives the grass a little more movement. So now I am using some Deluxe Smooth cardstock to stamp the little bunnies. I will be coloring them with Copic markers, so I like to use my Hero Arts Intense Black ink. And I did stamp those twice, as you see, the camera magic, suddenly they became darker. And again, I love to use this Ultra Clean stamp cleaner on a microfiber cloth. It just makes all the difference, especially with Hero Arts ink. It really works like magic. I don't know how I lived without it for so long. So I'm just very quickly going to color these bunnies, and I'm going to skip ahead for you all so you don't need to watch the whole process. I'm keeping the coloring very simple, as you see, just some gray bunnies. And the flowers, I made sure that the colors of the flowers coordinated with the card. So you see I just added a little bit of pink and a little bit of yellow, which will be the base of the card at the end when it's all finished. And I ran those through my compact cutter. And you see all my magnets here on my glass mat. That is so handy to collect all of these little dies, because this stamp set, if you get the bundle with the dies, really does have a lot of dies included, and it would be so easy to lose them. So I just throw them onto those 3 magnets there, and I know they're not going anywhere. So I'm using my precision glue. You see I already glued on the grass pieces. I made sure to leave some of the upper leaves not glued down so that I could tuck my little jumping bunny into there. And now with the sleeping bunny that's going to be on the front, you see I'm popping him up with some foam tape. I always like to put glue on top of my foam tape. I think this comes from my scrapbooking background. I have found mini album that I've created where the double-sided tape just isn't sticking anymore. So I always like to reinforce whatever tape or foam tape I'm using with some glue so that I know it will last. And you see there I'm just stamping the sentiment. It says hopping by to say hi. This Spring Bunny stamp set, it's perfect for the Easter holiday if you celebrate, but it's also perfect just for spring in general, which I believe it's tomorrow. If you're watching this the day that this video came out, happy spring almost. We're almost there. I'm so happy that the days are longer. I get more sunlight in my evenings. That's the happiest day to me. Anyways, I'm creating my A2 sized card base. This is with some mustard cardstock. I really love the pairing of the pink with this mustard. And you see that I purposely colored those little flowers so that they would match this cardstock. And then I'm just using my precision glue to put it all down. Aren't they so cute? Thank you for joining me, and thank you for watching me create this background pattern paper with those mini stamps. I hope it encourages you to explore your stamps and what little mini pieces you might have inside there to give them some extra love. And I also want to encourage all of you, in just under a month, we will be having the Hero Arts Spring Stamp Along. And I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, but I will be a teacher, and I'm really excited about the card that I've created. So I hope you'll join me then. Thank you. Bye.